Yeah, test. All right, cool. All right, hey, howdy, folks. My name's Dave, and I'm a woodturner. Been doing this broadcast for almost 2 years. In January, I think the end of January, it'll be 2 years. And I think at that point, I might, I might change things up a little bit as far as my greeting. I don't know, but thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I'm a woodturner. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. uh, Found that I had a knack for it and fell in love with it. Then I started teaching it and fell in love with that as well. So I started this channel to become a better teacher, a better demonstrator, and a better turner because practice is the secret sauce. There is no shortcut, unfortunately. You gotta put the time in and practice. Get the proper instruction. Your turning will improve. You just need to put the time in. A lot of things that I do, well, I can't say a lot of things. I do a wide range of techniques. Some of them I would consider advanced. So I want to say, as a wood turner or what you are responsible for your own safety. So if you don't feel comfortable doing something that I am doing here or that I'm teaching about here, don't do it until you get your skill level up and you feel comfortable with it. I have. And it was. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to pull up the name here. Mav underscore K14. Last night said he or she said that they would like to see a wooden cup. So I'm gonna turn. Let me get that covered up there. I'm going to turn. I've got a couple of different ideas, couple of blanks here. So I'm going to start with this guy. Now this is a bit of that maple burl that I had basically split shared with some friends. Had a lot of bark inclusions in it, some other issues. Didn't get a ton of usable wood out of it, but did get some nice pieces. So this is one of those pieces that I was able to cut off. It's got it looks like I think it came out of a crotch. It did come out of a crotch piece. I think it's maple, but I can see there's going to be some figure here, some figure in here. There might be some figure in here. I want to right now. I'm going to turn it off center because I want the body of the cup to be in here and give myself enough room to be able to carve a handle if I want to. So it's going to be starting off balance and will probably stay that way for a while. But this is, you know what, I'm going to put the heavier side towards the headstock. Or the larger side or whatever. It's a fairly light chunk of wood. It was, as I said, I believe it was maple, but I believe this burl had been down for a while before it was harvested because it was punky in some spots. And this piece even is punky, but I was holding on to it in case once it got dry probably because of the figure I saw in it. Hoping it might turn all right. So we'll see how well this goes. Like I said, I've got several different blanks. So if this one doesn't work out well, we'll move on. Wow, that really washes things out, doesn't it? Does that help any? Golly, no. Let me do this. And a little bit of that. I wonder how much glare could be. Oh, not a bunch. What does the picture even look like? Well, I mean, that's better for the camera, but not so great for the turner. So I'm afraid I'm I'm going to have to go back to having all the lights. Let's see. So I'm going to start off with the bowl gouge, just to rough this guy out. Might be a little high, but we'll see as we go. Alright, so this, I will round out. I'll take some mass off of this. The cup is going to be basically in here somewhere. So I am going to round these corners off and get to where the radius or the outside of the circle is, like right here along the center point, before I move into the rest. I'm thinking of an experiment with a handle, seeing what I can carve and get away with. Okay, glasses down. So everything clears. We are going to have a little bit of vibration. Actually, I want to. Well, that's not too bad. That's not terrible. I'm going to have a little vibration throughout the whole thing anyway until I get, well, even though I get most of the mass of this piece turned away, at least until I start hollowing it probably, and I'll probably still have a little bit of vibration there. I think that's about right. Yep. There's really no effort to make these cuts. I am hogging off quite a bit. And when I say hogging off, I mean I'm using a lot of that wing to make the cut. I'm taking a very wide shaving. Well, in this case, it's not so much shaving since I'm knocking off corners. Yep. So I got that rounded, and that was the goal there. But let's straighten it out some. And this is in spindle orientation, this piece. So I'm going to take my cut off the edge of the piece, and I'm just going to do a full cut, and I'm not going to vary the speed I have when I'm getting off the piece. And then dismounting, I guess, is the term I like to use. You can get tear out on the ends if you speed up going off like you're getting in a hurry. Going as fast as the tool can cut, and that's all I need to do. Let's see, I will probably need to round this over now. This might be too punky to be turning, so I can see I'm throwing chunks off the tool. And lots of tear out. You know, this is a no. All right, well, it was worth trying. Where's the bargain bin? There we go. So let's go with this guy. Actually, let's go with this guy. If I can keep hold of it anyway. So I really don't want to turn punky wood. It's a lot more effort, a lot more work. This might be punky, but this also, I don't know if this is pine or cedar. So I want to find out. So if it's cedar, which it could be, although I don't know, I mean, I'm kind of thinking it might be pine. I'm not smelling the pine smell, but we'll see once we get. I'm going to turn another layer or two off of here, and I want to cut it in half. I didn't think about that until just a little while ago, and I really didn't feel like running the chainsaw in the dark, even with the headlamp on. So we'll use the parting tool to basically cut in half. I'm going to make a cup out of 1/2 of this. But I want to take a layer off and see if I can tell if this is. This might be even. I don't know, man. It's harder than pine. It's harder than most of the cedar. Maybe it's elm. I mean, this is kind of what I'm thinking, because this is all bark inclusions on this side, and it goes. Oh man, it go. Well, let's take a look here. Let me turn off the ends. And that will also help me figure out if this is really punky stuff or not. It is a little bit, but that figure does get all that stuff does go through about 2 inches deep. This is not as punky as the other one, but I have some tear. Of course, it's also end grain. Not really getting tear out here too much. A little bit here and there, but I think part of that was me trying to figure out which way the grain wanted to be cut. So I think I'm going to go ahead and part this off, and you turn this half into a cup. And I'm going to do my darndest to turn a Kuksa style cup. far as I need to go with that. Yeah, this might be an elm. And I'm really saying that just because of this particular feature. I mean, it looks like bark inclusions. I'm not sure what exactly. It must be something along those lines, but the grain pattern is very definitely different. And I've only seen stuff like this, or similar to this, in elm, at least as far as I'm aware. And like maple, it would be a lot more pronounced as bark. At least what I've seen. No, I'm not saying it's not maple either. I'm really not sure. Alright, so let's set this guy aside. You see, it doesn't like the parting tool much. Okay, I want, since this is going to be, I'm looking at this being, and I'm going to do my darndest here, but we'll see if this piece is going to work out or not as well. Barring that, I've basically got a piece of maple that I'm pretty sure will also work, and some green wood. So we'll get to one or the other. We'll just keep on trucking until we can't truck no more. I'm going to say that looks like the center. And we'll true it up. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. No. Okay, so I want to capture this figure in the outside of the cup. So I want the outside of the cup to be more on this side, which pencil's not going to show up very well. What's my radius? 2.5 inches. Okay. So I think I want to have, let's draw a line, any line. I want to go to the center-ish, something like that. All right, so 2.5 inches. I want to move my center this way. And what I want, if I were to turn this as a cup, that 2.5 inches would be a 5-inch cup. If I take it down to 2 inches here and set it there, it'll be a 4-inch cup, and I'll have a 1-inch handle I can cut away. Oh, that was what I wanted to look at, was where that good, better looking wood is on this side here, which is pretty much opposite to there. So we'll say we'll carve somewhere over in there. Somewhere over in there. I think I'd really rather do it over here. So we're going to aim it this way instead. I want to maximize the use of the non-punky wood as much as possible. Again, this is end grain, and that's not what I'm seeing on the side here. Although this is a little bit softer than this, that's part of the decay process. It's an interesting effect. So I want to, like I say, capture it in the cup. So I'm offsetting it so I have a place to carve a handle into. So that would be a 1-inch handle. If I go here at 1 3/4, that would be a 3.5-inch cup on the outside. So basically about 3-ish on the inside. And that would give me 1.5 inches for a handle, which should be plenty. So my new center is going to be there, and the whole thing is going to be offset. but I'm going to turn that wing so that I don't have much to have to carve away. I want to double check this just because. Alright, so if I move my center here, then that is, well, no, actually, I'm going to move it a little bit more. Right there. And so that will result in a 3.5-inch outside diameter for the cup, which actually give me 1.5 inches for handle, so that's fine. All right, so I want to take this guy. I need to chase this line around so that I'm aiming in the same direction on both sides. Pencil. There it is. Okay. So then I need a line here. Really just that far. Ooh, I see a ring check right there. The light caught it just right. It goes from here all the way to right about there. Let's see. There's no seeing it on this side, but you know what? I can clean that face up and see if that goes all the way through. That would not be a good thing. And we'll make this one a non-starter. Let's first make sure it's secure. Alright, so that dude was right there. So I would expect to see it up here, and I'm not seeing it. Let's get more into the light. Stay away from the light, Caroline. Yeah, I'm going to say this is a non-starter. I don't know how far that ring check goes, and it will make it a non-usable cup and possibly go boom boom on the lathe, and that's something I would like to avoid. So let's see. Let's go with this guy. This is a piece of cherry. So we'll see how far we get with this one. So I had gotten a friend of mine, Just Joe Woodturning, actually. Just Joe had to go. He went down to Buckley to pick up some timber, I think, on a friend's property. Anyway, he dropped off some of this huge cherry tree, and one of the pieces was like an 18-inch. Actually, it was bigger. What rolled off was 18 inches, but they had cut off one of the pieces of the crotch, so it was like almost 2 feet in diameter crotch wood. but it's just not much of it was usable, unfortunately. This is one of the smaller pieces I got out of it, so I'm hoping that, some of this will turn okay. But I mean, this piece looks all right. Let's see, that is 3 3/4. Just match it up here this way. And really, I just need 3 1/2. So on this one, I'm going to make it a little simpler. I'm just going off the corners here. These sides are relatively straight. They're not perfect, but that's okay. It's close enough. It's a piece of green wood, and basically I'm going to be roughing the cup out. I won't be finishing it today. It's going to be a twice turned OJ. All right, so that was 3 1/2. I didn't hit that 3 1/2, did I? I did not. Look at that. So this must not have been 3 1/2 either. So, there we go. All right, so 3 1/2 will put me right out there. If I'm careful, I can get relatively close. There we go. And these two corners will be easier to line up. Again, I'm going to turn this. The center of this is going to be here. I am going to round some of this off, but there's going to be a wing turned. This part of the piece will be closer to the headstock because it'll be the largest piece, and that's where most of the wing is going to be turned. This is in spindle orientation. So I need to take, actually I don't need to take, I just need to do this. Let's see, that was 3 1/2, right? So 3 1/2. Oopsie daisy. I think ballparking it's good enough, but I want to at least get this fuzz off of here. Tear out from the chainsaw. Okay, so that puts me right there. Oh yeah, it's 3 1/2. Perfect. So my square says, I didn't bring it again, did I? Alright. So we'll do it this way. 3 1/2 is there. No, it's not. 3 1/2 is there. There. So that's already marked. All right, so this will be my new center. that guy. So this will be a little bit smaller cup, but not too bad. So give me what? Maybe about 3.5 inches on the outside. So, and that's okay. We're gonna get rid of a lot of this mass. Just bumped the camera. Sorry about that. Yeah, this bad boy is going to be off balance for a minute. Is that the other camera? Yeah, alright, so at least I'm 2 for 2. Where they're hanging, unfortunately, I also have to reach for tools. Let's see if that goes up high enough. Not quite. And that went too far, of course. Pardon me while I try this. There we go, that's better. Zero that in. Alright, so definitely going to take a bunch of this off. Going to be cutting, what, 95% air? For a little bit, anyway. Okay, rattle trap to start. So I already have the muscle memory for my anchor double cut before I even start. So when I'm cutting, I'm not watching the tool because I have it already set with my hand positioning and all that, to be in the right spot. And I'm watching the ghosting up here to see how the cut is going. And it is a lot of actions tied together that you kind of practice a little bit separately, but it's just a combination of a few. So again, don't do you're responsible for your own safety. Don't do things that you are not comfortable with. I do teach these techniques, but the more advanced ones are. Sometimes a little harder to translate onto video. I guess not. I guess if you have the right equipment, but. And I do try to cover all those subjects as I go. Basically, like I say, I'm cutting, I don't know, 10% of the piece, so 90% air. Slow and steady is the watchword here. You can see where my rim is going to come into play. It's going to be this wider piece. I just need to take this down a little bit more and get past this outer surface of the tree. Some of it's kind of punky and spongy, so I just want to get past that here into the hardwood for the handle. So I guess let's walk through that. So when I'm ready to start turning, making sure everything's clear, everything's already secure, all that stuff. It doesn't matter how you do it. I've gotten had enough practice that I can set my place. I've already got my thumb on the tool to help keep my hand in what I call the natural neutral position. So it's going to stay there, and I have to actually move my hand to open or close the tool. I've got it basically at 45 degrees. I can make slight micro adjustments and not really fatigue the wrist. Again, I'm only moving as fast as the tool can cut. It is sharp. Um, Highly recommend using sharp tools. Anyway, so you can. I used to do it before I got the lathe started. I would get my anchor set, so it's already on the side of my body there, and on the tool rest. I already, as you can see, have the flute at basically a 45-degree angle. I need to point that bevel in the direction that I want the cut to travel, because that's the way it's going to want to go naturally, which means I've got to bring my handle way over here if I want to go straight in, which I want to do. If I wanted to go sideways or at an angle, well, then I would point it that way. And in my mind, that's what, and that's how I explain my definition of riding the bevel. You're not really like burnishing the surface with the bevel, which you would be if you were like seriously touching it the whole time. The bevel is dictating, or going to dictate, the direction the tool is going to want to naturally cut. That front nose bevel. So pointing it in that direction gives you a better chance of success at making a good cut in the direction that you want to make. Um, uh, but also, again, as you're moving as fast as the tool can cut, it's not necessarily a quick clip. It could be. It depends on the timber. I'm going to clean this up with a full cut here. Again, I'm cutting mostly air, so just taking my time. So that surface is cleaned up now. And now I'm going to start working down to the diameter of the actual cup. You know what? I'm going to switch to my shorter tool rest. This is one of my faves, Mr. Center. Thank you, Steve, for designing this. This is one of my favorite tool rests. I think I use this one the most. I don't know. I think it's a real close race between this one and the longer one, but I use the longer one a lot because I start off usually with larger pieces and work down to the size I'm looking for. But anyway, I like this tool rest muchly. So I'm going to excuse me. Take this down to the diameter or the outside diameter of the cup. Start getting rid of a lot of this, like I say, this mass. Yeah. You see, my tool isn't bumping around on the tool rest. I'm not getting beat up trying to, I don't know, ride the bull, I guess. Maybe that's a term. The tool is getting super hard to control because I'm only advancing as fast as the tool can cut. Now I can get a little bit closer into here and start working my way up to the handle material. Oops, that wasn't going to make it, was it? Everything else will clear? Okay. And the vibration is already starting to lessen a lot. All right, let's see what are we dealing with here. You know, I still want to check. Let's see. How's that feel? It does feel very cool. So I'm going to say it's fairly green. So I'm going to leave this about that thick. Of course, I'll chew that up, but I'm going to leave that about that thick. And it is cherry. Maybe I'll make it a little bit thinner. I'm not sure yet. Right now, I got to get through this stuff here. There we go. Also, please feel free if I lose audio to mention something in chat. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm paying attention to it, but I'm testing this microphone to see how long it will last. It's probably a little close. You always tell when you're finally making contact all the way around, you actually get shavings, like full shavings. Not quite there, but I'm getting longer shavings. So that's a little bit punky right there. I'm not sure about the rest of this, but that is. But this is going to be the bottom, and some of that's going to be carved away anyway. So I just want to keep myself aware of that. That's punky wood. Yeah, that's kind of punky. But anyway, most of that should be turned away by the time I get to the cup. So this is actually going to be a little bit smaller cup. Let's get this guy in there a little bit better. Yeah, that's all nice and solid. So it's just this little bit, I think, that's, but again, it's going to get turned away. So now let's bring this guy in. more. Alright, I think I might be, well, take it down just a little bit more, just because what I'm exposing is feeling nice and cool, and this part here isn't quite, it's not that far below the surface, but I do want it to dry as evenly as I can get it. Alright, maybe a little bit more. I don't know, that might be alright. Let's have more time to dry. Yeah, that'll do. So I think now that perhaps I can take this, well, it will be a pretty cup once, if I can get that far. Okay, let's grab, what did I do with it? Front row. Did it vibrate off the lathe? It sure did. Magnet to the rescue. Want my spindle gouge here to, well, I don't want a corner in there, so I think it's fine the way it is. The corners will dry faster than the surrounding wood, so I will wind up, and that's what I'm going to do with this right now, is round off that corner. Since it's a twice turned piece, those corners will dry out faster, and so they'll split because the rest of the wood is trying to dry out through that thin corner there. This way there's more surface area and less chance of it cracking. During the drying process, since again this is twice turned. So there we go. Alright, now I'm going to go for, I guess I didn't need the spindle gouge just yet. I'll go for my chuck hold here. So I want to get through this stuff. And I'm going to move my tool rest here. It's going to clear just fine. There is some spalting in this cherry. Some bark inclusion, some spalting. So I'm really hoping this survives. That is kind of punky, but it's not going to be super deep cut. So it's probably does that look? That doesn't look too bad. So maybe I got through most of that punkiness. Not all of it. Maybe not all of it, but most of it. You know, I hate it when you do that. So a lot of this will be out of round once it's drying. I will have this down to, I don't know, maybe 3/8 of an inch. It is cherry, so that should handle it okay. It's going to be a fairly thin-walled cup, so that should be fine. Alright, I need to grab spindle gouge again. Even that might be a little large. But we're going to leave it just in case that's actually going to wind up being the foot. This is where the chuck is going to hold it. So, got my square shoulder and dovetail. Oh, I don't need to do that. Let's cut that off. It probably wouldn't get in the way in the chuck because it's a fairly narrow diameter tenon, but it doesn't need to be there, so it can go. Would help if I cut all the way through, but couldn't tell that between centers. Alright, let's put that in there. Okay, now we're ready to do the rest. Let's see, I'm probably going to have to move that. And while I'm thinking about it, I need to put the wrench on this nut down here for my tailstock. Give it just a little turn. Because it doesn't seem to be quite tightening down enough. That's the flat. In theory. There we go. Now, hopefully that will help a little bit. I think I will it's not turning it. Probably because I don't have the wrench set properly.
26 said, add me on Discord
There.
so I can join your live streams whenever you're on. BETHOMN26 said, my Discord username is backhand index finger pointing right, backhand index finger pointing right, BETHOMN11.
Hey, Beth Demon 26, welcome to the channel. I actually need to. Wait a minute, I think I do have a Discord. I'm not sure. I think I do. I haven't, for some. Oh, I haven't set it up to put this on there. Why? Oh, wait a minute. Actually, maybe I don't have a Discord, but I will figure that out. Thank you. I want to be able to reach as many viewers as possible. I think the joy of wood turning, as it were, is pretty amazing to share. I love teaching this stuff. I just like turning in general. Let's see. There's the chuck I want. So we're gonna haul this guy out pretty quick, and then we'll move on to, what are we looking at? 9 o'clock. Wow, we might get 3. Well, let's see. I've got material for 2 cups. I can pull up some more material, or I can go into a hollow form. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Oh, I was already close on the size there. Let's see. I'm going to line that up with that because actually that's not a good reason. I'll do it there. So I'm going to mark this piece.
Joshua Video Editor said, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Joshua? Welcome to the channel.
Joshua Video Editor said, how are you doing?
Not too shabby, man. How's it going with you today? I think
Joshua Video Editor said, I'm doing good too. Joshua Video Editor said, how's everything going over there?
seems to be going okay. Just did a little minor adjustment to my tailstock. That seems to have done
Joshua
the trick,
Video
I think.
said, good to hear.
There. So,
Joshua Video
what part of
Editor
the...
said, how's your day been so far?
Not too bad. It's got a few things taken care of, some cleaning and stuff like that that I needed to do.
Joshua Video Editor said, that's cool.
So, what part of the planet are you watching from? Okay, now...
Joshua Video Editor said, I can see that you're already affiliated. Are you working towards becoming affiliate?
I am already an affiliate and going through the steps for whatever the next... I forget what the next level is called. I'll get there at some point. Do like the smell of cherry when I'm turning it. Oh, look at that color that's going to disappear. Well, some of it anyway. That's a bummer, but oh well. Let's see.
Joshua, video editor, say, all right.
Let's see. All right, I'm ready to hollow out the cup now. Let's grab this guy, because I'm going to want to check this every once in a while since I'm out of balance with this wing the way it is. I wonder if I can cut. Let's see. I bet I can use. You know what?
Say, are you on Discord?
Let's do this. You would be the second one this evening to ask me if I'm on Discord. No, I don't believe I am. I think I might have an account, but I haven't set anything up. Now that it's been mentioned, it reminds me I should try to get it set up to where I can stream this on Discord too. That would be pretty groovy. I wonder if I can cut this. Should I cut this now? No, I shouldn't cut this now. I can cut that off though. Let's lock this down. There we go. So where are you watching from there, Joshua? And sorry, I gotta go back through the chat to see. Beth Demond 26. Where are y'all watching from? Participating from, I guess I should say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Where are you watching from? What part of the world are you watching from? I'm always curious. I find some of my broadcasts, actually, often I find that there are viewers in Madagascar and Morocco, just all over the place. I've got a couple of regulars that are from Canada. I think Hom. Okay, let's move. So I'm not going to cut that off with. I've got a body saw. It's a very, very thin blade, air-driven saw. Works really, really nice for, if you have a rim like normally when I'm turning a cup, I've got that rim all the way around. I got to cut it all off. I don't have so much on this one, but I'll use this to get around it. And it cuts the wood really nice since it's a body saw. Sometimes you got to be careful. I mean, it's a thin blade, so sometimes you can get hung up, but it's a nice little saw. Okay, the vibration is going to increase. Because I don't have tailstock support anymore, or won't. There we go. Oops. Okay, there's that guy. Don't need this guy yet, so we'll move you over there. Actually, we'll move the entire tailstock out of the way. And away we go. I still cannot get over, and I'm probably stop talking about it at some point, but I really am pleased with the noise reduction that I'm experiencing since I put that replacement port in. Let's see, I'm going to start this off with this happy dude. I think I will also use my 1/4-inch skew. Give myself a place to start. Easy there, killer. So I really only need to go about that deep. Whoops, I slipped. And I slipped again. Let's use the thumb. So that's about as deep as I need to go. I'll go a little bit. Deeper, not much. Whoop. And now I'll work on my wall thickness. Once I've got that established, because I want the wall thickness to be the same as the wing here. So that's about right there. Okay. got my depth. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be, well, I mean, right now it has a smaller diameter opening, but because I'm leaving 3/8 of an inch thick, in the end it'll be about a gain a half an inch on it. And that will essentially do it for that cup, I think, for now. Let's double check my depth here. I could take it a little bit further down. Alright, it's all very clean. Wall thickness is even all the way down. And we're the same wall thickness all the way down to here. So actually, I think I can go a little deeper. Yeah, I can. And I'm going to, and I need to. Looks like there's going to be some really nice figure showing up. Right in here on the cup going through. So I think I'm within where I can actually, yeah, that's where I'm going to want to put the handle anyway. Is somewhere in there, or yeah, somewhere in there. So I'll capture that. That'll be nice. Nice little looky. Oh, nice and smooth. Oh, I'm digging it. All right. So I'm right there. So that is a good depth for the bottom. I just need to, I think there is, yeah, just a tiny dimple there. Oops, I need to straighten that out a bit. Right at the very bottom, it started curving inward a little too early. sure that didn't round off the bottom. It did a little bit. Well, not round, I mean have a hump in the bottom. Okay, there we go. I think that gets rid of that last little bit. Not quite. We'll just do this then. It's going to be turned again at some point. Okay. So that is an excellent depth, and that depth right there for this, including that little shelf, is the same. It's actually a little bit thicker than this, but it's close enough. So just need to round off this edge here. No sharp corners, man. And then I'm gonna take, let's see, which guy? How about this guy? Yeah. Round off those corners. Cool. That's as far as I get with that one today. Oh, that's why I didn't see it. So, after a period of time, whatever that is, I could probably make this even thinner and it'd still be all right. It does seem to be fairly solid, except for, I mean, there's some punkiness, but the handle where it's going to be, and just capturing that figure on the inside all the way up to the handle here. Let's see, the handle will go this way. So capture most of that spalting there and be in line with all that. That's a lucky find. That's cool. So that'll be different and unique for this piece. So we'll set that aside to dry. Might take quite a while in the winter here. Probably. Oh, that's what I can use. Sweet. I probably won't get a chance to turn it again until, shoot. It's because there was a pith in it. Can I still use it? No. Shucks. However, well, it's still kind of green. All right, sorry, I'm talking to myself. I thought I was going to be able to use this for another project that I have in mind, a pencil canister for my workbench, because the one I have is too narrow. The base is too narrow. All right, so here's another piece of cherry that, oh, I didn't see that split. So that's a pretty good split. We'll see. Let me see. Okay, so actually all of that would be turned away. So that splitting should be gone once I'm done with it. Yeah, all right, we'll just go with this. I got a bit of a split going on there. This is still kind of green. Looks like there was, I don't know what that is, but this also was in that crotch piece that it just had. Oh, that's what that is. That I don't know if it. I think it when it hit the ground, it shattered inside the tree because I've got these break lines inside, these crack lines inside. We're not visible on the outside, and it's not like a D-lam. I mean, it literally broke the tree internally. So a lot of it got. I think you can probably see these white spots. That's fungus that grew into those cracks, and why I had to cut this tree down. I mean, make the turning pieces that I get, the turning stock, so small. Because I ran into a lot of that. There's even fungus here. So this one was sitting around for a while. I'm gonna put that away. Let's take this guy off because we're gonna start between centers. I like to start between centers because I can move the piece any way I need to at least up to a certain point. Once you finally have a final shape determined, there's not a whole lot going past that. That you can make large adjustments for. But finding bits of figure or whatever, like this is going to be all that bit right there is going to be figure wood. This was, I should say, cut out of a crotch, a big 2 foot wide. I think it looks like it was really close to 2 feet wide when it was in one piece. Okay, so I'm gonna say that is going to be a straight edge. So can I go 6? Sort of. All right. You know what I'm gonna need? Gonna need a bigger boat. I need a longer straight edge. Oh, that might do. And that 6 inches was basically gonna be. Oh, because that's not square. So something like that. Yeah. Okay. So something like that. Whoops. And we can double check ourselves, even though this is more of a parallelogram. That's really close. That is not so close. Might should be there, perhaps. My 6.5 inches is out here. I think, or 6 inches. Let's take a gander at that. There's the 6. Wow, I'm way off, aren't I? Am I? Let's get a bigger ruler. Longer longer ruler. Yeah, you'll do. Oh, no, you're already unfettered. You can come with me. This one was already out of the square handle. Okay, that's that guy. Except that is not 6 inches. So we have to adjust that line. 6 inches would be right there. Well, it's close enough that it's not really going to matter that much. So we'll just strike it harder, man. All right, so that tells me, this guy tells me, and I am 3 5/8, and 3 5/8. So right there. And this is more of an oblong shape, but we're going to say that this is our 6, which would be right here. That's amusing. Okay, it looks somewhere in there. I'm going to call it that. Right there. Close enough. First thing I gotta do is make it round. So that's that guy. You know what? We could just dispense with all that. I could have just dispensed with all of that. I think. Let's find out if I'm right. Somewhere in there, bang. So that edge is almost straight. That edge is not straight. That edge is straight. And that one doesn't have an edge that's going to be straight. So we will move this up a bit this way. So now that's straighter. It's a little straighter, and that's almost dead on. So we're going to call that pretty much the center of the universe for this piece. Let's mark it. Uh-oh, I'm losing my point there. Oh. Well, that's interesting. The Allen screw was loose. Da, 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 da. There's the hole. I think that was the guy I chose. Yeah, it looks kind of okay. Oh, whoops. Nope, not what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. I want to have the wider, larger part closer to the headstock. The further away, your piece is from the headstock, the more you can induce vibration. And so I want to start with the largest piece closer to the headstock. I'm going to swap out 2 rests. Nope, wrong side. There. Wrong tool. There. So with my bowl gouge, I like to set my tool rest when my handle, everything is parallel to the floor, that the flute itself, when the handle is parallel, hits pretty much dead center. I'm actually probably a little high here. Yeah. That should be right. Yeah. But that's just the way I like to set it up. Everybody's body is different. Everybody has a different setup. But when cutting with gouges, you want to be cutting at center line or a little bit above. With scrapers, it's at center line or a little bit below. Not a little bit below, sorry, at center line or a little bit above. But really, you want to, with your scrapers, have it, unless you got a negative rake, which you can go in pretty much at 90 degrees, but you want to be at less at 90 degrees, the cutting edge to the timber. All right, let's round this guy out here. Everything is going to clear. Yeah, you can still see all the markings when I was cutting up the crotch wood. So the splits are, where the breaks inside the tree are starting to become a little bit more evident in here. We'll see what happens when I have it a little more round down here. So that break, I'm not sure what I need to do about that, and I guess try to move the cup away from that, the body of the cup. Let's do something about this so I can see. I can move it easier, and I'll figure it out. getting kind of punky in there, but that's also where it's split. This wood is softer, so I'm hoping to be able to, man. I'm going to try to shift the cup this way, I suppose. Let me finish this off and take it off the lid. Take it up. I think that's enough real estate to play with. And what's there is pretty hard. It's this stuff. It's not like super soft, but it's much softer than the rest of it. So I don't know how to what would that scale of. I mean, that's a little punky. So I'm gonna move the cup this way. Let's take it off the lathe. Actually, before I do that, since I can use it as an extra hand for the moment. Okay. Whoopsie daisy. Nubbin. Okay, so looking at all this, I definitely want to move that way. However, I've got this issue going on here. It comes into somewhere in this neighborhood. So I'm going to say that is 5/16 of an inch. Yep. So whatever diameter I use for the cup, I'm going to have to add or shift. I'm going to have to shift it 5/16 of an inch to get rid of that stuff there. At least have a chance at it. This looks kind of burly right there, unfortunately. But maybe even getting down into there, that really looks like burl wood. But this broken part of the tree that's not going to hold up as a cup. So, all right, let's shift it. Oh, whoopsie daisy. Yeah, okay. Let me grab my. I'm going to reset that center. So let me grab my center finder. Wrong side up. Do. Looks about right. Looks about right. Where did you go, my friend? There you are. So that is my new center. I want to move this dude away from this, although it doesn't look like I have to be too super worried because that won't be so thick on the outside of the piece. So that will be, like, a lot of this will get cut away, which is what I need to do, unfortunately. And then cut some of that away too, also, unfortunately. So I'm going to head this way. And I want to see. So that gives me what, 2.5 inches? Yeah, all right. So if I come over to 2 inches, that will give me a 4-inch cup. And that will put me right here. Which will give me a very short handle, but I've already got 3/4 of an inch there, and I just bumped that camera again. Sorry about that. So almost 1.5 inch for handle, which would be fine. Actually, it'll be even more because everything's being shifted. Okay. So I want to take it into 4 inches. That's going to be that good. So let's take a look at. Maybe I want to go this way. Then I've got to get rid of this, but I'll still capture some of that unless I shift a little bit more, because this is solid here. It's this stuff that goes into right about, like right in here, and it starts turning into really solid again. So, I think I'm going to go right through the center of this feature. Since I have to back off 5/16 of an inch to remove that broken material. Shattered. Shadooby. Shattered. Right there. Yep, that was where I should have aimed for, right there. All right, so 2 inches, then I go back 5/16 of an inch. So that puts me right here. That will be 4 inches to the outside of the cup. Really, 3 inches would be fine. Oh no, I broke a nail. That always reminds me of that stupid. I don't know why. Because it was so dumb, that's why. It was so idiotic that it stuck in my head. Lee press-on nails. I don't even know if they're a thing anymore, but in the 70s, it was quite the commercial. It was played often on television. And it's always, oh, good thing I have my Lee press-on nails. Like, oh, I broke a nail. Oh, good thing I have Lee press-on. Whatever. Anyway, I'll stop. Okay, so 4 inches is probably a little wide for the outside. I want a 3/8-ish wall diameter to start with. We'll say 3/8 of an inch. So at 3.5, that will net me an almost 3-inch inside diameter. So if I go for 3.5 inches, this is going to be 2.5 is 5. So 1.3 would be 3.5. Minus the 5/16. And just for giggles, I'm going to go one more. Let's make it 2.125. Because I'm going to be removing 5/16, which will take it down to here. So that is now my new center. Did I put that tool away? Yes, I did. Training myself very well. 1 3/4, a little bit bigger than 1 3/4 for the outside diameter, but that's okay. It is going to be changing shape a bit, and I'm curious to what it does because this is this is crotchwood. Okay, so from here I've got, you know what, let's put this on the lathe first. Oops, where's my line? I was going for that guy. Right there. And that's where I need to measure to the center from. So now I have 3/8 of an inch to add to. So that would be 2.5. Okay. 2.5 inches it is. Let's find that mark. That's it right there. Go from my center. 2.5. 2.5. 2 1/8 plus. Let's lay that down on a flat surface again. We're going to call that 1/4 of an inch instead. So 2 1/8 would be 2 3/8. 2 3/8 would be basically right there. So that's going to be the other point. Ooh, that's nice and hard. That's definitely. So maybe those cracks won't matter to a whole lot. This is, like I said, crotchwood, and this is the figure. I don't want to lose it, but I've got to take some of it away just to get rid of this stuff, because this is soft. And that's not going to work well. So I want to go down to Funky Town. Okay. Door pin. Make sure it's secure. So now that I have a new center, I'm going to remove this guy. Am I yet? Yeah. Let's see, I want to go at an angle first. Okay, let's get that off the lathe, because that's definitely going to vibrate onto the other side. And we'll move that too. All right, let's get rid of some of this mass. And I'm going to draw. Can I draw that circle? Yes, I can. Okay. Dave, you got to tighten down your banjo, you know, right? Right. Hey, cool. That's just blood red. I hope that sticks around. Alright, let's do something about this guy. I think. I gotta get through all of that stuff too. So I think this is probably where the bottom of the rim needs to be. I'm going to wind up cutting a lot off that because of all these splits. But that's okay. Oh, that's okay. Are you going to clear that? Yes. No, actually, let's just do it this way. No, wrong way for the handle. There we go. A ring. So that split or break goes like pretty much right to where the rim of this piece is going to be. So that's going to disappear when it gets carved off. So that's a lucky break there. I guess that is also a pun. So this is the stuff I gotta get rid of. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Still got to keep going. I think. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so that cleaned up really nice. There's just a little bit happening here. I'm still going to take it down some. What are we looking at for diameter now? 3.5 inches, which is really where I want it to be. I'm going to take it down a little bit more. That's still going on, man. That might very well make it just an unusable if I can't get rid of that. Okay, that looks like it might be gone, but that still leaves me. That's not bad. Now it's a 3, so it'll be definitely a smaller cut, but it's not terrible, but not what I was hoping for. Okay. Yep. Oh man, that's gorgeous though. All right. A little too far there. Yeah. Hey man, I'm getting cherry shavings all over the shop. Yay! Oh man, that might be a problem. I just don't know anymore, but we're just gonna keep working with it. It still could be all right. Or it becomes a cup without a handle, maybe, or I don't know. But that's why I didn't get a whole lot of usable timber out of this huge crotch wood, which again is unfortunate, but it happens. that kind of damage you don't really see on the outside. So you don't really see. You don't see it at all most of the time. Okay. I think. Oh, I forgot to look where. Okay, so my handle material, if I'm going to do a handle, has to go this way or this way. And so I can capture that long, this isn't spindle orientation, but I want the longer lines to give that strength. If I went, say, 90 degrees to that, I'd have all of the rings in there and make it a weaker piece of, it'd make it a weaker handle. So I want the longer grain, but I don't know, let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to send it that way because of all that really cool color and stuff in it. So my handle will be over on this side. So for that, I'll just put it right in here in the chuck and I'm going to mark it. So let's make sure that it's seated against the face of the jaws. There we go. And let's not forget to mark it. So on the jaws, like that's something to do with all my jaws. If there's a gap in there, that I can make a mark so that I can get it back in at least in the area that it was in the jaws, because this is going to change shape as it dries. And wow, I need to make that wall straighter. So being able to at least try to put it back in where it came into the chuck is very, very helpful. I am leaving the points where they're at in case I've got to true up the outside out of the chuck, because if this goes an oval, it won't fit in the chuck properly. Oh, that's going to clear. Nope. No, it is. On tool. Okay, it's time. Get a sharp tool. I think that's a little thick. Golly, the color in that though is just phenomenal. Of course, because it's crotchwood, which is the main reason I'm trying to keep it. I think I've learned my lesson by now, but no. Okay. So this is going to be cut away anyway. So I'm just about ready to hollow it out. I do need to do something about this outside wall though. It almost sounded like Waldo. That'll do. Okay, now it's time to hollow that dude out. Yeah, that split, that might be a problem. There might be no way around that. I mean, it's there. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe it'll just be a display cup, something like that. I don't know what it's going to turn into yet, but that split goes, that break where the tree broke when it fell internally runs right through that whole rim. So I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. I have a suspicion it might destroy itself during the drying process, but we're gonna give it a chance, man. Doggone it! I'm gonna have to move where this. You know what? I'm gonna do that now. I need to move where this camera actually is. Because I keep banging my head on it. Reaching for the tools I need. Alright, so that is a little too far. There we go. Maybe up just a tad. It's too far, and that's too far over. Stop monkeying with the camera, Dave. Okay. Oh, I had the hammer for a reason. Or rather, the mallet. Get rid of the elbow poker. help me any. All right, measure from there. A little bit more. That'll do. All that clears. Oopsie daisy. Too thick. Let's see, actually, I need to take this down a little bit. Excuse me. All right. This is awesome. I have a really quiet lathe. Okay. That's a nice deep color. I really hope this break doesn't work itself all the way through. All right. So now I need to get my depth here.
Values say
Hey, how's it going? So that's one. And so I haven't seen Mav K14 this evening, but he did say last night, or she, I don't know, making assumptions there, but they said they really wanted to see a wooden cup turn. So those are essentially the same spot. And now is a good time as any for me to turn some, since I need to replace some of the stock I've got, or that has sold. Okay. Or will sell, rather. This is going to have to dry for a while. And actually, I think, yeah, I need to make this a little bit thinner. Oh, I gotta see that. Wow, we got really close. So round that corner off. Let's use a different file for these guys. How's about... How's about a different file, fellas? Come on, show me something. There we... Nope, not that one. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, there we have number 2. I'm going to... Let's do this. That's the bottom on the inside. Okay. It's got some nice color in it. It's going to be, again, another slightly smaller cup, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's if it survives. I really hope. So I don't see it on the inside, so we'll see how it plays out as it dries.
Values say, this is a different looking cup. How will you drink out of it?
Actually, well, I have to. This is called twice turning. So this is green, and I left the walls really thick so that it can dry and do all its movement, and then I'll turn it again to its finished diameter. Carve off all this stuff except for, I think right in here where it's going to be my handle. So there'll be a handle there, but all this will be carved away, and then they'll have a normal rim. It'll be a little wider than that because I had to leave it, a little thick to allow the wood to move and turn it again. But so I'm turning this now. I'm going to have to let it sit for a period of time, months, especially since it's winter, so it doesn't dry. Well, I want it.
And there is the answer.
Gotcha. It's because it's winter. In warmer months, it would take less time, but in the winter time, it's just going to take longer. So, let's see. Let's find a happy spot for that guy. And now, what am I going to do? What are we looking at for time here? 10:30. Let's see. No, I don't want to use that guy. How about... I can't use that guy. That's a bummer. Thinking about what I want to start next. I got half an hour. Let's see. Mana. Oh, wait. I found a piece earlier, which I have now since... there it is. Not misplaced. There it is. Oh, but it's got incredible pith to it. I don't know if that'll matter. Eventually it will matter, although it's now seasoned. It's got a split. It's going to turn a small bowl out of this. Come here. This guy and this guy. And so, I think that's what I'm going to try to do before... Well, I'm sure I can get it done before the broadcast ends. Let's just turn one more thing. Ta-da! Okay, gonna start on the balance point, because I always do. If I can get it. Sometimes a piece is a little too light. I'll go up there, just right there. So that is the balance point. Dang it, I did it again. Having a hard time keeping my head away from these cameras. Okay, it's probably because it's so large. Not the camera's my head. So not going to worry super much about vibration because it's a smaller piece, but I still like to try to start on a bounce point. Oh, not quite. Okay. Still not quite. That might work. so close. I might still be able to use it though. It's a mighty big foot, but I can cut it down. Let's see. After my negative rake scraper around the nose guy. Do some shear scraping. Yes. Really, really fine shavings. Very, very light touch and just trying to get rid of the high spots. And with the tool, it's such a acute angle I can get those really fine, really nice shavings, get a really nice surface on the piece. And I see that I need to, well, no, I don't. That's going to be fine. So it's going to be a little thin walled, which is also okay. Making a nice tender pile. Very, very fine shavings. All right. This guy, I need this guy. And I want this guy to be out of the way. I should have put this inside to warm up first, but I didn't. It's a little bit much. Man, this beeswax smells so good. Okay. So this is really hard stuff. So I think this was actually elm also, but a different kind. Alright, then we're going to use this guy. Yep. I need this key here. Hey. Within a time, quarter till, no problem. That over there. A little thinner than that? Yeah, a little bit thinner than that. Well, I gotta say, it's time to swap to another sharp tool. Good thing I have several. Nice and thin. Oh, time to dress up the burrs on both of these. Yep. So do that really quick. This guy. Okay. still a little thick there. All right, let's see. Just a bit there. I think that'll do. Yes, very nice. Let's do a little bit of this action. I think I can get away with it. Nope. I'll get this way. Hey, get back here. Oh, dang. Here comes the racer. He's a demon on wheels. Oh, like a 16th of an inch. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe that's a millimeter. I don't have millimeters on this one. It's going to be a, wow. Yeah, that's nice. All right, I'm going to put some finish on me. Let's move that guy out of the way. Oh, didn't get me. Oh, that's too much, but so be it.
The values say, Dave's fantastic finish.
He's fantastic finish. Thank you. Yes. This stuff is really nice. Whoo, doggy. That looks very cool. Let's see. That's a pretty bowl. All right, so now it's time to reverse it. Ooh, man, it's a pretty bowl. Cool. All right. Let's see. How's about? Yeah, I could use that one, I think. Oh, maybe there's one slightly smaller. There is. Nope, too big. That's gonna be not working for me. So we'll go with this guy right here, even if it is oak. Funny. Got some of Dave's fabulous finish on my finger there. And I'm going to use it for the bottom of the cup, or bowl, rather. Oh, that won't open wide enough. All right, well, I should have just gone with my instinct and went for the Vic Mark Chuck. But hey, it doesn't take long to swap them out. Ooh, that's not going to work for me. Nope, that is not going to work. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll have to go with something taller, which is a bummer. But hey, that's why I have several. So I can adjust to fit. Okay, let's move some of these tools out of the way. There we go. There we go. Well, I think actually. Still doesn't seem right, and that's probably because it's too wide right there. We go.
Values say, have you ever used color-dyed eggshells and epoxy to make a bowl?
No. Colored eggshells and epoxy probably would look really frickin' awesome. But no, I have not.
Values say, I seen one on Instagram that looked cool.
Very cool. I bet it would, man. That's yeah, that'd be a kind of a cool combination. Is it true? Ah, it's running through. Well, imagine that. All right, let's make sure we got the right tension on it here. I can spin it.
Values say,
I can't spin
the
it.
outside of the shell is blue, but then the inside is still white when you turn it on the lathe.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I bet that'd look really awesome.
CSO said cheap viewer stream
That is a really long name for a spam bot. Incoherent. What does that say? Incoherent blooper. Blooperix AJOGER. Okay, whatever, man. Hey, thanks for stopping by, spam bot. I appreciate that. I certainly hope that Twitch is counting that as one of my unique chatters. At least it would serve some good. Alright, so I need to match the wall thickness here for the foot. So I need to go, no, that's about right, actually. Okay. I think the detail mark right there. It's a little harder to do small things with a larger tool, but can be done. And that would be the bottom of the bowl. How does that look? Not bad. I'm gonna put that there. It is. Oh, no, not all of that, just this. Probably won't generate any more dust anyway, I hope. Okay, and then just a little bit of, where is it? A little bit of this action. And then I'm going to wander over to turn on the compressor for a second so I can get rid of that nub. Why does this not shut? Oh, that's in the way. And we'll have a finished bowl here very, very shortly. Pretty groovy, man. So no marks on the inside. From the jam chuck, that is always a plus. Yep, that's elm. It's got that odor to it when you sand it. It's also very, very hard. Okay, what I want to do, oh yeah. Let's lose that guy for a minute. Hip hip hooray. Let's find. There we go. That might be enough. Maybe. Maybe not. Alright, let's get some more. Let's see. Need a clean bit of paper towel. That is way too much. The Baldy's Better Buffing Balm. Or as Habitus says, Dave's Fantastic Finish. Now if I go really fast, I can burnish this in. There we go. And then that will match. The rest of the little bowl here. All right, cool, man. That's a nice little dude. Little natural edge bowl from a little piece of spalted elm. Basically a 3/32 of an inch thick. It's a fat 16th. That was fun to turn. That was cool. That's why I saved that piece of wood for a little bowl like that. It's really, really hard, dense wood. Time to clean that off, I see. Okay. Let's do that, and then some of that action. All right. So, howdy, folks. My name is Dave. Thanks for joining me this evening. As you can tell, I'm a wood turner. A little bit about me. I started turning as therapy for PTSD, found out I had a knack for it. But then I fell in love with it, too. Then I started teaching it and fell in love with that. So I started this channel to become a better teacher, a better demonstrator, and a better turner, because the secret sauce, no matter how you slice it, is practice. Man, this is time for practice too. It's all practice time, right? Every piece is a practice piece till it comes off the lathe finished, or until it's finished, and it's no longer a practice piece. I think. And then it's a finished piece. I can take this guy off the lathe now. So I've got two cherry Kuxa style cups turned green, so they'll be twice turned. I've got a couple of months to wait for those, I guarantee it. And I've got more green wood to turn, more of those too. I want to have some ready for close to spring for markets and stuff like that. So anyway, thanks for joining me on this Wood Turning Wednesday here on Twitch. I hope that this inspires you to go do some turning of your own. Definitely do some exploration with the tools. Find out what can you do with it, right? Because every tool Oh, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I think it's great when you can make it out. Um, Thank you very much. I think it's cool to have viewers, having viewers from all over the world. You're in Canada, and I mentioned it before, but I look up. I have viewers in Morocco and in India. Just all over the place. It's really, really, really quite cool. I really wish, it'd be nice if those folks, if they are able to, I don't know what kind of connection or whatever they have, but if they could chat, that would be pretty cool too. But I do see it on my metrics that there are folks from all kinds of countries watching this. And I appreciate that support. I want to reach as many people as I possibly can. I find for myself that woodturning has been great therapy for PTSD. Art is amazing therapy. And That's some of the things I like to talk about when I'm out and about. So, having said that, we're going to wrap this broadcast up. Let me plug this guy back in first and then turn it off. Um, yeah, that's going to wrap up this broadcast. This Woodturning Wednesday here on Twitch. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for the support. As always, I appreciate people who are willing to chat and ask questions and kind of spend it, kill some time, have conversation. It's always a good thing. You're always the question bank or whatever you want to call it is always open. It's never a bad time to ask a question, and I like to have the interaction anyway. I think I think it makes it more fun for everybody, right? If if several people are involved and they're actually engaged, I think it's pretty cool. So I hope you all stay friendly. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening on into the weekend, and I hope to see you right here next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. No idea what I'm going to turn. I haven't planned that far ahead yet, but I do have another production job coming up, so I may one of those days be doing that. We'll see what happens if I get the material that soon. I'm not sure that I will, but at some point, I've got another neat little production job that sounds like I've picked up, and so that'll be fun to stream for turning those items. So I hope to see you all in the future. Um, Good night, folks. I hope you enjoy your evening.